On this holiday episode of the Silverun Family Tree Farm, we're going to be prepping for one of the sweetest holidays around. Along with some spooky representation, some good old classic fun, and a custom hand-built project that is sure to excite everyone in its path. Let's get into it. Well, top of the morning to you laddies. My name is and welcome back to the Silverun Family Tree Farm. I just got done backfilling a couple holes with the Bobcat. We were up on top of the hill. There was a couple trees we pulled out. We just didn't want anybody getting hurt or a truck falling in or something happening. What we have on the plans today, as well as the entire week, is we are currently getting ready for the Halloween Extravaganza that we have out here at the tree farm. And one big project that I have to do is run the TSC, the local school, and we already have the other part of it that we had mailed to us, but we have to piece together one of those, if you can remember them, those little barrel trains you see that get towed behind like a four-wheeler or a side-by-side, something of that nature. And we have to construct one of those because we recently, about a month or two ago, bought the new Honda Rancher, and we want to be able to tow that with them since we opted for a tow hitch in the back. And I think that'd be really cool to entertain some of the newer faces that are showing up around the tree farm. And we are starting to winterize some of our equipment in the shop for the winter season, but I need to run the tractor supply and start picking up some parts to be able to construct the barrel train cars. So I got to run and get as many of those parts as I can, and then I'm going to run to the school. And then the 55-gallon drum barrels I actually have, am going to be acquiring from one of my old coworkers. They work out at the gas station off the highway, and they have a couple, at least 10 of those barrels that I can use. So I'm going to run to Tractor Supply, get the main parts that I need for the build, and then I'm going to run out to the gas station and pick up those barrels, and we're going to start working in the shop. And now that we have our fasteners, 2-inch metal tubing, the tires that are going to be required to build this, and a handful of miscellaneous pieces, we are just now arriving at my buddy's gas station, and we'll be picking up all 10 of these 55-gallon drum barrels that I told him I'd give him probably like 20 bucks for. They don't have a need for them. They were just going to send them off to get pitched anyway. Obviously the toolbox don't have collision, so I'm going to sardine can pack these things in here. Now, if you guys haven't not already, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below, as you do know we are on the race to the 100,000 subscriber mark by the end of this year. The Tree Farm series is always one of the great holiday specials. I don't ever pull it out too much, just because that's what it really is dedicated for. It is a holiday special series. Silverun is a very beautiful map, and by far one of the best DLC maps I've ever seen come out of Giants. But at least the drive to the gas station back to the farm is not that long of a drive, since we're just going right through town here. So now we're back at the shop. I'm going to show you guys quickly here what I'm going to end up doing. All of these barrels are going to be cut directly. They're all going to be cut in the exact same way. That being, we're going to cut a big enough hole that we can set a seat and a little like fake steering wheel right in here. So I'm going to use my angle grinder from over on the shelf. There we go. And we will cut a big enough hole, hopefully right on the side here. We should just be able to pop this panel out. Yes, sir, we did. So we're going to do that to the other 9 remaining barrels. And then I'm going to get to the workbench with a couple bolts and a little bit of welding just for some extra security reasons. I know these things aren't going to be carrying that heavy of cargo, but hey, what's not to be a little extra safe? And now with all the barrels completely opened up, let's actually show you guys the prototype that I have / the final copy of the barrel carts. So the barrel cart is going to be a square tubular frame with one support beam going right down the middle. On the outside here, we have one rear hitch attachment for any extra carts that we want to attach, plus a hitch in the front. Of course, you gotta have a hitch in the front to attach that. These are just like your average dolly tires. They don't run flats, they're just solid rubber tires. But we're going to fasten the barrel on top of it. So let me just take this guy right here. and we'll fasten it down to the top of the cart, just like that. And then we'll be able to put our seat right there and then our steering wheel right up here. Now, the steering wheels I have right now, so I'm going to attach just a little black one there quick, but the seats haven't gotten here yet. So I'm going to build the remainder of these frames here quick. Pick it up off the bench, kind of set it down. Ugh. Okay. And we're going to build out the rest of these. So we're going to paint them. We're going to get everything looking nice. We'll see you guys when those are done, so that way we can get to the four-wheeler, just towing them around, and then we'll be off to decorating the remainder of the property. We'll see you guys here in a bit. And after about an hour worth of work, here is what we got. Look at them! It's a long train, trust me. There she be go. Look at these little guys. So we kind of tried to go a little bit of Halloween themed as well as just a kind of a mix match. We did have to paint. I did leave one of them blue because it's kind of like a little airplane one. That or it's like the Thomas the Train inspired one. But they all kind of have a theme. So this is like Thomas. This is a skeleton or a cow, whichever one you want it to be. Frankenstein, a Black Widow spider, a bumblebee. I don't necessarily know what I was going for on the orange one. Maybe like a furnace. This is kind of like a Dalmatian, a pig, and then just the purple and orange of spooky. I don't know. But I think that's kind of a really nice little touch. The only thing I didn't do was I didn't put, like, seats in them, because Farmer Joe ain't fitting in that. But I do want to kind of test these things out and see how well they pull, so I'm going to set my cruise here at 8. We'll kind of just watch the train go behind us. We got to make sure the paths aren't going to be, like, the thing obviously doesn't fall apart, but we'll just see how well the audience is going to be, so let's kind of give it a little bit of a sway. Looks like it's pulling pretty smooth. I mean, it's obviously not going to be precisely smooth, but for anybody that is going to be getting on this, looks like a pretty fun ride. Definitely going to be a nice addition to the hay rack system, though. It'd be a lot easier to get this thing around in here than it will be to get the hay racks, because I can really make some tight turns with this. But with setting up our Halloween event, I don't know if I'm going to have nearly as many decorations as I would for, say, the Christmas season, which is also coming up and around the corner. I will have to get the hay racks ready to go, as we are going to be doing some hay rack rides. But this is actually working really well. And I'm actually now that I think of it, I think I know the perfect place to store this. Down on the far side of the farm, I'm actually going to speed this up. Down on the far side of the farm, we have that one shed that sits down there. It almost is like a perfect train station. So I'm going to roll this down over here, and we're going to park it up in the shed and see whether or not we actually have like the perfect little choo-choo train station for this thing. Just open up the door right there, and hopefully, I'm going to have to probably swerve a little bit because I know this is kind of a long train. We'll just kind of play the back and forth game. That's like perfect. Just disconnect that right there. And yes, we can close the door, so we can literally park the train in the train station. That is awesome. Well, now that we have that out of the way, I'm going to park this back up at the shed. We're going to jump up in the sky, and we're going to start working on a bit of the Halloween decorations, and we'll finish it off with getting the hay racks ready to go. So after recrediting my account, this is about the best I'm really going to be able to do with the stuff that I have. So we got a couple Happy Halloween signs going on here. We have the Great Pumpkin as all of his greatness. Look at him. He looks so happy. We set up a mini graveyard here, hauled in a junk car. We're obviously going to get this thing off the premises once we have the Halloween season over, because then we're going to have to start getting ready for Christmas. You guys remember from SpongeBob, I actually found a model of the Smitty Wormerman Jensen.
He was #1.
This was featured last Halloween, but just for the cruds and giggles, this is our little cemetery. We have Dairy Queen's fancied up with some pumpkins. We also have the Happy Halloween wrecked car scene over here as well. Kind of just a nice little spiff up. Threw a pumpkin on top of the gas station. Now, they haven't gotten the signs up on the side yet, but this little storage container is like a portable bar, and they're called The Farm. They'll be out here as well. They were at the Alma Berry Farm earlier, where they do have some pumpkins, and then they set up some of their picnic tables where you can just kind of sit around and chillax. Nothing really has changed up here. We had another really small, like, funeral graveyard site put up over here. Just kind of bushes and hedges and things that are going to make my life a living nightmare. You guys might notice or recognize these. Yes, that is the wrong headstone for the family, but there is the Buck Nelson, Grant Nelson with the Murphy Brothers thing, so kind of a flash to Grant's old farm series. Set up a few of the cutouts around on the sides of the trees, and we kind of spiffed up the hay barn, which is where we're going to be heading next, getting the hay racks ready to go. Now, going into the old tractor shed this year, I think it would actually be a good idea to put the old farm all on the hay rack this year. Give Red a little bit of a chance this year, since last year it was the 720 hauling the hay rack. And the hay rack is one of my favorite parts about the tree farm itself, because of the way I get to parade around through the tree farm itself. But then I also get to parade around through town, and we get to showcase all of the old tractors that we actually have out at the tree farm. Here is our hay rack. And let's go get this thing filled up with bales. Now, all of my bales are stored upstairs in the hayloft, and I'm guaranteeing this is going to be a mess. Okay, yeah, that's going to be fun to kind of dissect. But I think this trailer, if I'm correct, takes 9 bales to go all the way around and make the pattern that I want to be able to have like an inlet for people to get in. Usually I like to fill up the whole entire trailer, leaving no gaps besides the one for people to get in and out of. Now I'm going to get these all stacked on the trailer, and then we're going to run over and grab the next one, but these I got to make sure are set in a specific order.
12 seconds later.
Dang it, I'm one short. Well, let's grab one more bale, and it is on to the next trailers. And there is our first rack, ready to go. Now I'll run up and grab the gray Ford up there, and we'll get our second rack loaded. Now this one takes quite a few more bales than the other one. So I'm going to get this one stacked up. And then we're just going to take a couple of the... Because this show is not nearly as big as our Christmas show. But I'm going to take a couple of these bales and throw them around the yard and just kind of give it a bit more of a fall flavor to our landscape. And people can kind of sit on the bales and do fall things. So let's get this trailer loaded up, and we'll kind of finish out the video with decorating with the last bit of straw bales. And that hay rack is now good. We got a couple extra ones sitting up top. So let's get this thing out of here, and we'll kind of disperse the rest of these bales around the property to just finish off our Halloween fall style of decoration. The one thing that just really sucked is that there really is not a whole lot of like fall decoration placeables unless I were to make them myself. There's just not a whole lot to really work with. Kind of just set like a few of them here. Maybe set a few of them in between, actually. There we go. Something kind of like that. Just trying to like disperse the decoration a little bit. And it also looks like they got their sign up, so really great to have those guys out here. When I went to the Almaberry show, they had some really good refreshments, so gonna have to check them out again. But I think now all I'm gonna do is get this parked up in the back, so that way we can start getting ready for the show time on Tuesday. But other than mowing the hiking trails and getting ready for some trick-or-treaters, that's about all we have for today's episode, guys. So thank you all so much for checking this one out. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below. Also be sure to check out the Boomstick Club for all the up-to-date content from me and the gang. You already know who is in it. And I shall see you guys all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out.